Alrighty. Okay, so we're here with Melissa and John Gallagher, and we're just going to ask you a couple questions, Melissa and John, about kind of your experiences with Fineview, your background, what led you here. So how long have you been a resident of Fineview?
Just over a year. We've only been here just over a year.
Okay, so you obviously didn't grow up here. You moved here on your own. What drew you to Fineview when you moved here? Tell us a little bit about what brought you here and how you came upon your home here in Fineview.
Well, she found the house, so she's responsible for us being here.
But what brought us to Pittsburgh?
What brought us to Pittsburgh? Well, my work brought me to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
But I think she was asking about what brought us to Fineview.
We came from eastern Pennsylvania, and we originally had a rental up in the North Hills, and we decided that it'd be better to find a house to purchase. Instead of putting money into a rental, we might as well find a house to purchase. And I just ran a search online, and one of the main things that we looked for was convenience of getting to downtown. And Fineview is one of the best places to get to downtown. It is so easy. You can take the bus, you can walk down, there's great steps that head right down. It's just so easy. So this was the main reason that we chose Fineview, was the ease, and that's the region that we looked in.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as we saw this house, we said, that's it. That's the one that house spoke to us.
Mm-hmm. So how many houses did you look at before you decided on this one? Was it three?
We pretty much toured two other houses, and they were quite nice. One was in the Mexican War Streets, and one was just up at the top of Federal. Again, very nice houses, but this one was so unique. This one just had our name written all over it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, John, you obviously work downtown Pittsburgh then. Do you take public transportation?
About half and half.
Okay.
I'll ride the bus maybe half of the time and drive the other half of the time.
Okay.
It's so easy because there's a bus stop just right down the street, so you don't really even have to ever use your car at all.
Okay.
It's very
So you
convenient.
take one bus and...
One bus straight downtown,
Uh-huh.
and I can walk to my building.
Okay.
It's very convenient.
How long does it take you usually?
About 20 minutes
Uh-huh.
with all the stops. If there weren't any stops, it would only take 10 minutes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And coming home, it's less than 10 minutes because it's one of the first places that it hits. So when you get home faster.
Right, right. Oh, great. So what are some of the characteristics about Fineview that keep you here?
I think it's mainly that it's a very tight-knit community. It's people here, have time to talk to each other and visit each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of neighborhoods, where people just seem like they're too busy really to do anything or really get together. But here, everybody's really friendly, just like it used to be, years ago when I was a kid, when it seemed like there was enough time to have a barbecue. It's like that here.
So do you feel like it's a safe neighborhood?
I think so. I mean, you do have to be careful, of course. We're very close to the city, so there are elements here and there that you have to be a little bit careful. But I feel safe here.
It sounds like it reminds you of when you grew up, being able to go outside.
Exactly.
And
It's much more like that. When not that you don't have to lock your door. You still have to lock your door. But I feel very comfortable in this neighborhood.
Great. How about you, Melissa? What are some of the characteristics that keep you here? Outside of your husband, of course.
Yeah. Definitely the neighbors, the friends that I've made here. I've made more friends in the short amount of time that we've lived in Pittsburgh than I did my whole life back east. So the people in this area are just so welcoming and so nice and helpful, absolutely helpful. We got stuck in our car, our key wouldn't turn, and the other day, and I called our friend Janet, and her niece actually ran down, picked us up to come back and get our other key. I mean, people do, and they'll give you rides off the hill, people who are walking if you need a ride somewhere. They're so nice. And it is a safe community, and part and parcel by the Fineview Citizens Council, where we actually have a block watch, and we actually have scheduled walks. The neighbors just come out and we walk the neighborhood, walk different streets, and we feel quite safe. And the neighborhood did not used to be as good as it is now. Now the crime rates have gone down drastically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great neighborhood to live in. It's very welcoming, and it's easy to live here. Not only ease of the city, but there's something in this neighborhood for everyone. There are homes that sell for $3,000, which would be a total renovation. Obviously, you'd have to put some money into it. And the most recent high one was down on Henderson Street, sold for $295,000.
Wow.
So you have quite a range that you can go in this neighborhood, and so there's a niche for everybody.
So tell me about the Crime Watch. Is it due to these organized walks that you partake in to go through the neighborhood at a certain time? And
Yeah, we just it's in our we have a newsletter that comes out every 2 months, and we walk usually on Wednesday nights, generally around 6 o'clock or 6:30, and walk for about an hour and a half. But then a lot of us, we enjoy doing it so much, we do other nights also just for the exercise. People bring their dogs, they walk their dogs, we chat, we meet new neighbors, so you get to know the new people, and then you also get to let them know about what events are going on in our community. So we try to stay really well connected with everyone here.
And we've heard that from several people about the walks and the dogs. It seems like being out with a pet tends to draw a crowd. And I see that you have cats. Do you have dogs?
Yeah, we
or
also
do you
have
take
a dog, yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, yes, I was petting it. Okay. So you'll take your dog out for a walk, or and I know that you've been here a short time period. So you moved in October, and in winter it seems like everyone's hiding in their house. But you've been here at least one full year.
Yes.
A little over a year. So in that short time, what's your fondest memory of being in Fineview? Year to date, what would you say is something that really just sticks with you so far?
Probably meeting at the Fineview Country Club, which would be the Overlook.
Okay.
Right down at the end of the street, we have some of the best views of the city. And we just bring our lawn chairs, and we bring drinks and snacks, and we sit out there and chat. And it's wonderful. And then in the summertime, the ice cream truck goes by, so that's a bonus.
I thought she was going to say that her fondest memory was when everybody went out and shoveled Myler Street because there was no plowing.
Oh.
Yes, that wouldn't be a fond memory, but
Right.
definitely a memorable one. The year of Snowmageddon.
Which you were here for,
yes,
lucky you.
We were, I think, maybe last on the list to be shoveled out down here. So the plows didn't really come up. They hit more of the main areas first. And there were a lot of elderly people that live in Fineview, and specifically on Myler Street. And so a lot of the neighbors, we all got together and we hand shoveled out the whole street and up the parking spaces, so everyone would be able to get where they needed to go in case they needed anything. And then also anyone who did need anything, we had 4-wheel drive, so we could run to the stores and pick up things.
Wow. So what did that look like? Did people just walk out their doors and just start grabbing a shovel and
Yeah, what happened
working
was
together?
it's to use a Pittsburgh term, it's very nebby.
Oh yes.
So when you
Love
hear
that term.
people outside chattering, you come out to see what's going on,
Right.
and you get involved.
Right.
And so we came out to help, and we shoveled.
Yes. Well, that's a great experience because mostly winter drives people inside, and you don't see your neighbors for well, I don't see my neighbors for 4 months. So that is great. And did anyone take a picture of that? Did
Oh
anyone get
yes,
that on
yes.
film?
That's even on our probably on our website,
Okay.
FindviewPittsburgh.com, our Findview website.
Okay.
So anytime we have events or anytime more than 2 neighbors get together, it's
Right.
probably on the website. There's
Right.
pictures.
Good. Good. Tell me a little bit about the Fineview Council that you sit on. So why did you want to be part of that council?
Originally, I didn't. Originally, I didn't really want to get involved because I hadn't been here long enough. I didn't grow up in Pittsburgh. I didn't feel that I knew enough about the area or the people that I'd be able to help out in any way. But it only took a couple months, and they asked me to join, and I have marketing skills and trade show and event planning skills, and so they put me on as the fundraiser, and so I do the 5-mile step challenge that they have every year.
Okay.
And then this year, I was voted on as just this January as president of the board.
Okay.
So there were a lot more things that I did have to offer that I didn't even realize.
Right.
And one of the things that the Fineview Council really does, it's a very active board. I think in years past they may have had some struggles where they weren't quite as active or didn't have as many people who were as engaged. But now we have a lot of volunteers that have a lot of skill sets and just great things to offer for the community. So we're moving a lot faster and getting a lot more things done than probably in the past. Also with the block watch and the little scheduled walks, that's all part and parcel to it. And gardening, that's a new big push.
Okay.
The greening and sustainability, we actually take some blighted lots that are here in Fineview and turn them into a community garden.
Oh, wow.
And so we write grants and try to get as much money as we can donated. And a lot of people put in some of their own money, neighborhood puts in their own money towards this, and then it's open to all community residents. And we also have chickens for the sustainability. Chickens in the city.
So where do you keep them?
Right in the backyard.
Really?
We have a chicken coop, so we get fresh, organic eggs every day.
Wow. And can anyone come and get the eggs from?
Well, they're really for us, but I do
Okay.
share them with the neighbors.
Okay. So it's kind of your own mini farm here. So what do you think about John? It sounds like Melissa has a full-time job on her hands.
Right. It is concerning because
Because we don't get paid for this.
right.
It is concerning. But you must find yourself involved in a lot of activities because of Melissa's, I'm
Right.
sure.
I like it because she's getting to know a lot of people, and
Right.
it's easier for me to get to know those people.
Right.
But obviously, working full time, I can't get as involved as she is, and
Right.
I can't sit on the board with her.
Uh-huh.
There's a rule against husband and wives.
Oh, really? Is that right? Okay. But it sounds like it's a way for you to kind of keep connected with the neighborhood.
Right.
I'm sure
Right.
you're learning a lot through
I don't
Melissa.
really need to sit on the board to get involved necessarily because she does that for me.
Right. Good. So what about the funniest thing that's ever happened here in Fineview? Might be similar to the...
I almost hate to say it on
Snowstorm
camera, but the one time that we were pulled over by the police.
Okay.
Well, actually not pulled over, but we bought a new car,
Uh-huh.
and plates don't match when you buy a new car. So and we were also exhibiting drug-seeking behavior by not parking and getting out of the car.
We were basically just sitting in the car for a couple of minutes.
Right.
And this
in
is a
your
good-
neighborhood,
yes.
outside of your
And
house.
this is a good thing that the
Uh-huh.
police actually
Yes.
watch
They
for
were
this
watching.
sort of thing.
Right.
We were glad they were.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it is a good thing.
Uh-huh.
But of course, we're sitting in the car, we're not getting out of the car, and the plates don't match the car.
Uh-huh. Right. And I'm
So-
sure it's night
So it's
or
hard.
some...
It's hard to explain what you're doing.
Right.
But it's a good thing because you know how the police actually patrol around here, and
Okay.
they actually do keep a good eye on the area,
Uh-huh.
as do the neighbors. The neighbors will also call, like whenever we see anything suspicious, out-of-state plates,
Uh-huh.
or people that are in the neighborhood who are not normally in the neighborhood and exhibiting unusual behavior.
Right.
Neighbors will call, absolutely,
Wow.
and so we make it a safe neighborhood.
Good.
And that was not too long after we moved in here.
Uh-huh.
But-
So what happened? Did they knock on your window door? when
Yeah,
they
oh
came
yeah,
up
they
and-
they drove by slowly and then
Uh-huh.
backed back up, pulled behind us, ran the plates, and then came up and started asking us questions.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Wow.
That wasn't that funny though. I think a funnier incident was on the 4th of July when everyone gathers at the Overlook to watch the fireworks. Fineview Frank came wearing a full suit in the middle of the summer,
Who is Fineview
jacket
Frank?
and all.
Fineview Frank, he used to live here
Okay.
in Fineview. He
Okay.
grew up here. And he loves this neighborhood, and he
Uh-huh.
would love to come back. But he's living in, I think, Paris South or Observatory Hill right now.
Okay.
So we're trying to get him a a
He was in
rental.
the
He was in
show.
the WQED special in the North Side Story. He said, "Fine view, it's a fine view."
He's famous for
Okay.
that.
So he's famous.
Okay.
famous for that.
But
Okay.
he's so proud of this community. He actually
Aw.
came in a suit
Oh.
to the 4th of July, which is
Oh,
wonderful
that
up
is
here.
so nice. That is nice. So you're trying to get him to move back here then?
Yes,
Are
we're
you looking
trying to
for-
find a rental that he can actually afford so he can come back to the neighborhood.
Wow, that is amazing. So he was just so excited that he wanted to be part of the neighborhood and
Mhm.
probably the biggest night of the neighborhood.
Mhm.
Really.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing. So what's the biggest challenge Fineview has faced and survived as a community? Sounds like you've said that crime has turned around and some things have changed. So what do you think was the biggest challenge, and are you still living the biggest challenge?
Yeah, the crime is probably the biggest challenge
Okay.
because of Allegheny Dwellings being part of Fineview.
Mm-hmm.
We get a bad reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that Allegheny Dwellings per se is a bad place. It absolutely is not. It just has a few bad people that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what we on the council and also the neighborhood is working to do is make it a better place
Mm-hmm.
as a part of Fineview, because Allegheny Dwellings is a part of Fineview. And we want it to be a better place for the people who live there and try to weed out the bad element, which is what the police are actually doing. They've cracked down quite hard in that area and have made lots of arrests. So when you hear about a shooting in North Side, North Side is a large area. It's not necessarily Fineview, and so that's probably been our biggest challenge is a name makeover. That when you hear about something bad that happens in the North Side, they assume it's here, and it's not. We tell people where we live, you live in the North Side. That's dangerous.
Right.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. We have one of the lowest crime rates in this area, so
Uh-huh.
it's fabulous to live here.
And that's what I was trying to explain to my son when we were driving up and we saw the dwellings. Do you still see a divide? Does it seem like people don't really intermingle, that there's the separation
That's
of
tough.
communities?
Yeah,
And-
we work to address that with our
Okay.
council. We actually, our next community meeting is being held at the dwellings.
Okay.
Because we always invite all of Fineview to the open community meetings, and this March 30th, we're actually having a community meeting at the dwellings, and we
Okay.
encourage everyone at the dwellings as well as the rest of Fineview to participate in that, because we want to hear their viewpoints. We want to hear what's wrong, what's right, what do you like, what don't you like.
Right. Right.
This past Christmas, we went to a dinner there, so some of us
Okay.
from the neighborhood did go there.
Okay. So John, you're an attorney by training. You're a tax advisor.
Yes,
You work at PNC Bank.
correct.
So arguably a professional here in the city. What's the reaction when you tell people where you live?
Well, surprisingly, a lot of people don't know about the neighborhood.
Okay.
They just, I tell them I live in the North Side, and the North Side is so big. And when I tell them find you specifically, a lot of times I'll get a blank stare.
Right.
Very few people actually know exactly where it is. So I think it's good that we could get the word out.
Well, good. So some of the questions then, so what keeps Fineview community alive now? Like what is sustaining Fineview?
Well, I think the good home prices here and the cost of living. I know a lot of the people that are here are just people that have lived here their whole lives, and they're able to stay here, and thrive here. So.
And also the connection between the people who live here. People are so friendly, and so you want to be here. You absolutely, you don't want to leave. This is a good place to be.
Right. What would surprise Pittsburghers to know about Fineview?
Affordability,
Okay.
the location, how easy access to downtown, 279, 28.
There's no traffic at all. Once you come off Fineview Hill, you can go right downtown and not be in any traffic. It's just so much easier.
Okay. What would you say to people looking for a place to live that would attract them to Fineview?
Definitely check out the websites, especially if you have a price point. Just key in your price point of how much you'd like to spend, and I'm sure you will find something on Fineview that would fit into your price point. And you'll also have a great group of neighbors.
Mhm.
It's a very diverse neighborhood. We have people from all walks of life
Mhm.
and all incomes.
Mhm.
So it's a great place.
I would tell them to just drive up the hill and drive
Mhm.
around and look
Mhm.
around. You
And
can see.
the views,
Mhm.
because there's nothing that Mount Washington no, I shouldn't say that. Mount Washington does have stores and places to eat,
Mhm.
but our views are the same views that just as good views as Mount Washington has,
Mhm.
but we don't have the congestion or anything,
Right.
and so it's a great place to live, to
Mhm.
visit and to live.
Mhm.
Normally in a city, I think with the kind of view of the city we have here, normally you pay a lot for real estate, and I think
Right.
people would be surprised what they could actually get here.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's kind of a little secret, I think, right now.
Right, right, because it's so high up. I mean, we just walked before we came in, walked down to the overlook, and obviously, breathtaking. But it's almost as if anywhere you stand up here,
Mhm.
especially on a summer night, I can't imagine what view would be bad
Mhm.
Right.
from up in this area.
Right.
And the ball field is right below the
Mhm.
overlook,
Mhm.
and so we watch games every
Mhm.
summer. It's great to watch the games.
Right,
So.
right, yeah, it's better than go to the Pirates. You could bring your cheese and crackers and your drink. Honestly, a Friday night, I couldn't wait to get home just to do
Mhm.
something like that.
And also when the Steelers play, you can hear it.
Oh
You
my
can
goodness.
hear because you can see PNC Park and you can see the Steelers actual field right from the porch.
You always know when something happened because you can hear everybody
Right.
cheer, and it happens before
Right.
it comes on TV. So you can know if something good or something bad happened.
Right, you have that precursor, huh? So if you could market Find You on a billboard, what would you say?
I think we'd have to say what Fine View Frank said. Fine view, it's a fine view.
Mm-hmm.
But the other tagline I'd have to add to that is, it's a village with a view. It
Mhm.
absolutely is.
Mm-hmm. What do you see? What change could happen in Find View? What would you suggest would be something that, oh gosh, if Find View could just improve on this, or if we could just make this happen, what would the future look like?
We need a pizza shop.
I think some more commercial activity.
We need a hoagie shop,
Yeah.
sandwich
Mhm.
shop. We need a coffee shop.
Now the TV station used to be on Fine View Hill. Now there's nothing there at all. I mean, I've been thinking, maybe someone could use that
Mhm.
space rather than
Redevelop it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for something, or even just bring up a small.
Personally, I'd like to
radio
see
station.
wind turbines put up on the top of the hill up there for energy,
Mhm.
for green.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a great use of that particular hill.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a new convenience store that just
Okay.
opened up, so that's a big bonus for us. We didn't have a convenience
Has
store.
it opened?
Yes.
Well, I know when we were here several weeks ago, it didn't seem like it did. Is it
Yes.
recent? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've only been open I think maybe 2 weeks now.
Okay. Does it seem like it's busy, or people? in there?
People
Do you
are
think they're
utilizing
gonna
it,
do
yeah,
well?
absolutely. So, and especially Snowmageddon, there you go. You get your
Uh-huh.
milk, your bread, your orange juice
Right.
there. You don't have to leave the hill. You can walk.
We
Right.
can give them a plug. It's called Uncle Mike's.
Oh, okay. Good. Good. So a little bit, I want to shift a little bit to your experience in Zombie Land. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how you started to get an interest in zombies and?
Well, I think I originated it because I started watching all the George Romero movies.
Okay.
And then she
Took
came
it to the
on
next
board.
level.
As it sounds like you can do so very well.
She can do the makeup and the dress, dress us up, and
Uh-huh.
that's her area.
Okay.
So we love horror films,
Okay.
zombie films in particular.
Uh-huh.
And so when we first came out to Pittsburgh, when he first said, "I'm thinking of taking a job in Pittsburgh," the two biggest things on the list were Steelers
Uh-huh.
and Monroeville Mall. That's where the zombie movies were filmed. We were so excited.
On your list, John, or on both of
Actually,
your
both
lists?
his
Okay.
Steelers really. So for
Okay.
him.
Great.
But that was huge, and we had to go to Monroeville Mall to see it. We wanted
Uh-huh.
to see what the mall looked like because we from back east, we'd really never been out to this
Right.
area, so this
Right.
was huge for us.
Uh-huh.
So every year we go to Zombie Fest and we
Okay.
participate in the different zombie walks that they have around town. So.
Okay. And you have full zombie garb on while you're doing that, and
And it can be anything from We did hippie zombies last year because there was at the Oaks Theater. They were running the movie Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, and that was filmed in the 70s.
Okay.
And so that was very hippie-esque.
Okay.
And so they had a contest for best hippie zombie, and I won.
Oh, wow. Look at this. Oh, my. That is great. And what did you do as a result of just your best costume then?
Yeah, it was the best costume. That was this picture right here. I had I'll try to move my glass thingy here.
So we have some live footage of some live pictures here.
I figured the long blonde wig with the braids and the beads and the
Oh, and you're holding you're
Yes.
holding your award there.
yeah,
Oh my.
the tie-dye shirt and the suede fringy
Yes.
vest. So
Oh
that was
my. Why don't you try to get some? And this is you, John, then here, obviously too.
yeah. That was from Zombie Fest, and I'm dressed as a waitress, and I have blood in the coffee pot. And John
that
is
is
dressed
great.
as a Jiffy Lube employee.
Oh my gosh, that is
We
great.
take on complete different genres when we
Yes.
be somebody that you're not normally.
Oh my goodness. And so now the
And this
road sign.
this Walking Dead one, this is an actual autographed picture. Our one neighbor, this is his wife's son-in-law,
Okay.
and so he actually stars in the Walking Dead, and so he signed that for us. Had the picture and then signed it for us. So
Wow. And this road sign, was this when you were in a zombie fest?
that you know what,
That
I
really
found that
worked?
online, and
Really?
somebody I believe did it as a joke,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's just hilarious.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, it seems like I would have thought that they put that out when you're doing some kind of zombie fest. Wow, and let's get this spine view.
Spine view.
Close up there too.
yep.
You're using-
And it has the silhouette of the city in front of Prepare.
Okay.
So
Oh my goodness. Truly amazing. And so when's your next planned zombie event?
probably the movie Spine View.
Great.
Will probably be the next one, and then coming in October or September again this year will be the Zombie Fest.
Okay. And Melissa, I hope you can be open to letting us tap into you for some makeup
Absolutely.
needs. And great. Okay. Anything else that you two want to add about Fine View? Anything? Closing comments or?
Just that the area has a lot of treasures up here that people don't recognize or really realize right away.
Mhm.
The convenience to the city. It used to be called Nunnery Hill, and we used to have an incline.
Okay.
And we've actually nominated it for historic designation.
Mm-hmm.
There's part of the wall is left from the incline.
Mm-hmm.
We also used to have a trolley. The number 21 trolley used to come up through Fine View.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of history up here. And not only this house, Heathside Cottage, but we also have the Henderson Metz Mansion. And then just one of the best places to go is the Overlook for the views. So.
Now I knew about the trolley, and I think is that the one that's next to Don and Diane Marshall's home, coming up that side? Because I know when we were
Yeah,
at their
it
home,
goes out through the hollows out there, Biggs Avenue, and
Okay.
out past that way.
Okay, but I'm not familiar with the Nunnery Hill term.
The incline. Fine View used to be called Nunnery Hill because there used to be a nunnery up here,
Okay.
The incline was one of two curved inclines. They're like the Duquesne incline is obviously still in place, and the Samuel Deischer actually was the man who built the inclines.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. And he also did the machinery for the Ferris wheel. So he's a quite well known in his world person. And there were only two curved track inclines, and one of them happened to be here in Fine View. Now, this was back in the 1800s. It didn't last. It didn't stay for very, very long. Actually, but we also have some. I do have some pictures. These are. This is what. This is actually from the. Well, these are actually from the house, but. Get that away.
Can you zoom up on that, honey?
This is the Nunnery Hill incline plane, and this is one of the vintage pictures coming up Henderson, and that stone wall was part of it, and this shows the track of where it used to go, and it would come up and it ended right up here down towards the end where the overlook is, but it would come up Henderson Street, which used to be Fairmont Street.
Wow.
So they made a few changes, but
Now, how did you get your hands on that? Is that something that Fine View Council had, and you
yeah,
were
we
able to access
found some of these pictures. And we actually took it to City Council because we wanted to nominate this because we want to preserve this.
Right.
And down here at the bottom of Federal Street, this was the incline house. This was the actual blockhouse that housed the trolley, not the trolley, the incline. That house still remains to this day, and that is perfectly intact. That's a person actually owns that. And so we nominated this because we'd like to preserve it to make sure it doesn't fall into disarray, because it is such an important piece of history for Fine View.
Right. Now, what is that building now when you said someone still owns that?
It's a home.
Yeah,
Is it a home?
Yes.
Is it? Wow.
There's 2 apartments that are built in there, an upstairs and a downstairs.
Okay.
So.
Okay, that's amazing. Wow. Very interesting. Okay, well, unless you have anything else to say or anything else to share, I think we have some good footage there.
Okay.
Go ahead and do and turn.